Nobody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody in 149th Street at the bench.
Alright, so I stream fine art paintings on Twitch, and over there the majority of the fan base is fine art related. And every now and again we'll get some graffiti artists that trickle in, and they'll be like, oh John, how do I get better? 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 And then I look at them right in the eyes, and I tell them, hey beautiful, practice the basics. And this is always met with the same response, oh, I am. Okay, I will. And then I go ahead and I take a look at their work and they're not practicing the basics. Or they'll come back to me and hit me up with a critique of some kind, whether it's hand style, throw up, or wild style. I'm sorry, did I say wild style? I mean hand style, throw up, or wild style. Hold up. It should be hand style, throw up, or straight letter. But they never do that, and that's the issue. They always come to me with a wild style, telling me that they're keeping it simple. So inevitably, what ends up happening is my friends that do fine art, or my friends that don't do art at all, find this to be absolutely hilarious, and they take it upon themselves to try some graffiti. And what I'm about to say may shock you, but their attempts at graffiti are better than 99% of new graffiti artists. So why is it? Why is it that somebody who doesn't even do art can do graffiti better than someone who just started doing graffiti intentionally? The reason for this is graffiti artists are looking at doing graffiti through the filter of doing graffiti. And as a result, they're thinking of it as, okay, I need to add style, I need to do this, I need to do something to make it look aesthetically like graffiti. And that's the issue. That's where everybody goes wrong, myself included. I can show you guys, you know what? Hold up. Bam! There you go. Example of me not keeping it simple. So because of that way of looking at it, they go into it the wrong way. And they produce shitty graffiti for years and years and years and years and years on end without ever getting better because they're trying to do something that they think is graffiti, as opposed to practicing the basics. Now, I preach this all the time in my videos. I have, for anybody who's about to ask, I know there's always that one person, why don't you make videos explaining the basics? I have an entire playlist for you that does exactly that, and it is the most informative information you can find about graffiti anywhere online. I encourage you to watch it. A lot of these graffiti artists don't want to practice the basics. Some of them don't even know that they exist, and even when they find out they exist, they find the wild style stuff to be more fun to do, and as a result, they kind of still don't want to practice the basics, but that's the only way to get better. And that's precisely why the person that doesn't do graffiti at all, but does other art forms, or the person that does no art at all whatsoever, that's why these two groups of people are better at graffiti than graffiti artists when they first start out. Because those two groups of artists, they're not looking at it through that filter. They're looking at it as, oh okay, I know how to write letters. I've written letters my whole life. I learned that in elementary school. I learned all about lettering in elementary school. Let me just use that knowledge and do the same thing there. And because of that, they end up with a perfectly fine straight letter, or a very simplistic, nice hand style. And what does this do to them? It makes them get better at graffiti faster than graffiti artists. This is why you're starting to see nowadays, and it happened in the past as well, but more so nowadays just because graffiti's blowing up more and more and more as time goes on, you're starting to see artists from some other genre of art start to do graffiti, and they're getting better faster than the average graffiti artist. Because they're not looking at it through that filter, and they understand other elements of art already that they're applying to their graffiti and helping them teach themselves graffiti. Now, graffiti is what's called a young art form, and what this means is graffiti's fundamental set, pretty much just the amount of fundamentals graffiti has, is really low. It doesn't have a lot of fundamentals to it. And the fundamental set it does have has a really low knowledge requirement. So where other genres of art may have a lot more, graffiti has a lot less. And it has a lot lower standard, as well as a lower bar to entry, which those are the requirements for a young art form. Now, this isn't to say that every single graffiti artist has to be, you know, like at that standard, because you certainly have graffiti artists that blow that out the water. Don't make any mistake about that. So if you've been doing graffiti for about 4 years, maybe a couple more, take a step back, look at your work, and examine graffiti's fundamentals as well as the elements of art. And if you've been doing graffiti for any amount of time, look back at the elements of art and be sure you actually know those, because elements of art apply to all art forms. That's a matter of fact. There is no debating that. And once you learn the elements of art, once you learn the art form specific fundamentals as well, then nobody can call you a toy, because it is a matter of fact that you are not. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's the video on why non-graffiti artists tend to be better than actual graffiti artists when they first start off. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. What are your thoughts on the topic? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Also, be sure to hit that like button, as it helps out the channel a ton. It helps this community grow, and who doesn't want that? More people to see this video, the better. Now, for those of you guys who are join this community, man, we got art videos every single week. You got no reason to. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time, but until then, peace.